Welcome to Fantasy Friday. I'm Jeff Smith.
And I'm Jacob Up. Here are today's top stories. The Giants halted the Phillies' 9-game win streak earlier this week. Ryan Howard said he was initially disappointed, but then remembered that he's still very rich.
Rangers utility player Michael Young got his 2,000th career hit earlier this week, breaking the all-time record for biggest waste of time.
A tale of heroism out of the American League as Blue Jays slugger Jose Bautista rescued 33 kittens from a burning building earlier this week. Red Sox first baseman Adrian Gonzalez only rescued 18 kittens. The league sources say those kittens were far more valuable.
Giants manager Bruce Bochy recently enlisted the help of a hypnotist to quit his unsightly dipping habit. The hypnotist could do nothing, however, about his implicit racism.
And now it's time for this week's Fantasy Mailbag. Ooh, big call this week.
Our first letter is from Joe from London. Joe writes, Dear Fantasy Friday, if a Rookie of the Year award, an MVP, a World Series ring, and a wins above replacement more than double that of Chase Utley's isn't enough to convince you of Dustin Pedroia's greatness, nothing will. Go watch soccer. Cheerio, Joe.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can pick and choose any numbers you want and frame it, and in the American League and National League, they're so different that, it's like apples and it's, oh, hey, here's another letter. The second letter comes to us from David from New York. David writes, Dear Fantasy Friday, I'd like to voice my displeasure with all the nasty things you guys have said about the Mets. I know I speak for myself as well as my good friends Lucas Duda, R.A. Dickey, and Ronnie Polino when I say that we worked hard to make this a really swell ball club for all the humble fans in New York. I, and the rest of the Mets, would appreciate it if you guys could please cut us some slack, because I think, honestly, we've earned it. Yours, David Wright. And seriously, David, stop calling us. That concludes this week's mailbag.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Well, that's all for this week's episode of Fantasy Friday. Go get 'em, Tiger.